This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It's Monday, another week, July 26th. We're so lucky to be here with all of you. I'm Tori, and it's a ladies' day.
It's a ladies' day.
Can you shimmy that pregnant?
I guess so. You know what? I want to say thank you. Erica threw me this baby shower this weekend. You came, a lot of DBL hosts came, and I'm just happy I didn't pop before the baby shower. So
I'm very happy about that too.
I heard way too many stories of people who didn't make it to their own baby shower.
Well, I made it to my mom's own baby shower because they threw it on Valentine's Day, and my mom, they were like, "Where is she? She's having the baby."
Having the baby.
I could have actually made an appearance at the end. That's
you
how
always
fast
make an
I came.
entrance.
Yeah,
you do. We're going to talk more about that in a little bit later, but we want to get to the summer games. They are off and running, and this weekend, some American athletes made history. So for the first time ever, Team USA took gold in fencing, taekwondo, and 10-meter air rifle. Swimmer Chase Kalitz won Team USA's first medal of the games on Sunday, a gold nonetheless. But all eyes were on the women's gymnastics team. Now, they stumbled into second place in the qualifying rounds behind Russia. It is the first time the women's team failed to finish first in the qualifying rounds in 11 years. That's a streak. Afterwards, Simone Biles posted this selfie on Instagram, writing, quote, "I truly do feel like I have the weight of the world on my shoulder at times. I know I brush it off and I make it seem like the pressure doesn't affect me, but damn, sometimes it's hard. The Olympics, is no joke, end quote. Let's talk about athletes and what we do to them, especially American athletes, particularly about winning. And I just want to recommend quickly, it's called The Weight of Gold. It just came out on HBO. It's about Michael Phelps and what he went through. We all know he went through 2 DUIs, suicidal thoughts, depression. It's like once you don't have that purpose, you have nothing, and you've been training so hard, and then it's gone. What do you guys think, Erica?
Yeah, this is a real thing, and I would say that we shouldn't separate just American athletes, because there are far greater ramifications that we've heard in the past for athletes who who aren't successful in the Olympics in other countries.
Right.
That is just egregious. So I think when you're talking about someone who has dedicated their entire lives from the time they were very small to a specific event, a specific sport, when that ends, there is a major grieving process that we do not talk about. We experienced this in our family. You know, my brother was a very high performing athlete, and you know, there's this grieving process that not only the athlete goes through when they realize that their career is over, but also the family as well. So there really needs to be more mental health advocacy throughout the entire time that they're performing or, you know, playing, because that's a hard fall off for anyone.
That's true. And just, you know, Michael Phelps is a spokesperson for Talkspace, which is a mental health. You can do it telehealth. You can do it online or with your phone. I've done it. Just so you know, if anyone is looking for some therapy, that's a good one to look for. Go ahead.
And I think receiving that much success so young has always scared me. I think us three sitting up here can all relate to having big dreams and big goals. And I'm always like, okay, let's say I'm trying to be Oprah. Like, if that happened at like 19, then what?
Totally.
You know, I don't know what to do with that. So when you see a lot of childhood stars in every single arena and they have problems down the line, it's not surprising to me, because I don't know how to handle it at 30 when people are like saying all these comments. So I'm not sure that these young women and young men that are performing and going here and performing at the highest level when they're really young are able to figure out what to do next when their Olympic career really has a 4-year span in between, and then they might not come back again.
Yeah.
They might not be on that team for 4 years to come back.
And they don't get paid. So all of that combined is quite hard. All right, there's some history being made at this year's Summer Games, though. For the first time ever, openly transgender athletes are competing. Canadian women's soccer player Quinn became the first openly transgender athlete to compete when Team Canada faced off against Japan. Wrote on Instagram, quote, "I feel proud seeing Quinn up on the lineup and on my accreditation, I feel sad knowing there were Olympians before me unable to live their truth because of this world." Transgender female weightlifter Laurel Hubbard from New Zealand is also competing, and transgender cyclist Chelsea Wolfe is a reserve on the U.S. women's BMX freestyle team. Now, transgender athletes have been allowed to participate in the games since 2004, but this is the first time, what do we talk about? They represented themselves openly. What is the difference? Everything. But what does it mean to you to be having open transgender athletes? And some of you out there might think, I don't like this idea. This is a hard thing for me to get my mind around. What do you think when you see it?
I support transgender people, the transition and everything, but when it comes to sports, to me, I'm still unsettled in that, because there's studies even as early or as recent as January, like in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, that show that if you're born male and you're competing as a woman, then you still have a competitive advantage, and they're saying even up to 2 years. I know some of these Olympics rules require you to be like 1 year and have the certain tests completed within 1 year, but some of them are saying you need more time than that. And so even the Olympics rule, I think, need to be reviewed, because if we're talking about you know, why don't people in the WNBA play with people in the NBA? I have friends and family that play in the NBA, and they're like, there's no, like, that wouldn't be a fair matchup. And so I just don't know how
it makes
it makes me a little uncomfortable. And makes me try to figure out, like, is it really a fair 1-to-1 ratio that we're actually having people compete against each other?
And the IOC does have really hard testing, rigorous testing to make sure the testosterone are way down, the estrogen, all of that is level, just so you guys know a little context.
Yeah, I don't really delve into the actual biology, because that's not my lane. But I do talk about representation, and this is very reminiscent of Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Yes.
Just because you're not asked and you don't tell, does that make you any less of an LGBTQ plus member? You know, it's about the representation, because these people are there. They are on the front lines, whether it's for battle or competition. And we need to make sure that young people coming up understand that you can be whoever you feel that you are, okay? Like, you can actually go out in this world and represent yourself the way that you see fit. And I'm very proud of that we've gotten to this point, because whether we're talking about it or not, that doesn't mean that they no longer exist.
Yeah, they're still there, exactly. Well, let's hear what you all have to say. Switching gears here, this is a very dramatic video. I want to warn you, it's a rescue, everyone's okay, of an 8-month-old baby after car went barreling into her barbershop. Again, there's a warning that some of you might find this disturbing. Totally get it, just turn away. So here it is, a mother and a baby were crossing a street in Yonkers, New York, when a car came around the corner and struck them, and then drove right through the barbershop. Here it is again, in slow-mo.
Oh my gosh.
There we go, right there. Police say the driver was drunk, did not have a driver's license. 2 police officers having breakfast nearby came to help, as well as bystanders who lifted the car to free the trapped baby. Take a look.
4-3 headquarters expedite. We got a baby under the vehicle.
Let's lift it up.
Look out. Can you pull? Somebody's got to pull the baby. Somebody's got to pull him out. Grab the baby. Come on. I got it. I got the baby.
Okay, thankfully, both the mother and the baby are fine. I just want everyone to remember, first off, that no one stopped and asked what political party anyone was in. No one did anything but help. And that's what human beings should do. That was incredible. That's what fight or flight does. It gives you adrenaline. It gives you enough power to lift a car. And they did it together almost seamlessly, almost like they had practiced that. There was a leader. There was communication. That was beautiful. What do you think?
I mean, that's just like a worst nightmare. I'm happy that you said the story ended with everybody's okay.
Everybody's okay.
And then it's just like, I get really mad about drunk drivers. My dad was hit by a head-on collision by a drunk driver.
Wow.
And he was okay, and that was probably one of the worst days of my life, because the woman who was in the passenger side passed away from that drunk driver in the accident. And so
Lindsay.
I get really upset about this, and I think people are ridiculous for being any age that is a driving age and driving drunk. It really disturbs me, so.
Amen, well said. Coming up on DBL, our interview with gold medalist Amy Van Dyken. We're catching up with the 90s swim star about this year's Summer Games. Plus, a reporter harassed on the job, but this time it was caught on camera. Why she's getting props for the way she handled this situation. Stay tuned.
Close.
What's up, guys? Good morning, good Monday. Yeah, I'm glad everyone's okay. I know that was kind of like a shocking video. I wanted to get to Lindsay real quick, and if you feel comfortable.
No, I do. I
tell,
like, even
accident.
like, and there's like commercials that say like bus driving is drunk driving.
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
like, I've gotten in arguments as recent as this couple months ago with people that are like not getting in advance, like not planning on getting a hotel, but planning on driving like 45 minutes after a party. And I'm like, well, you know, I'm really about to stop speaking to you, because I think that when you're an adult, when you make dumb decisions for yourself is one thing, but when you make dumb decisions for things that affect other people, it really bothers me, because your ignorance has taken away somebody else's life or affected their life. And I remember seeing my dad in the hospital, and I was like, this could have been avoided.
Right.
And also the young guy who was driving, I have empathy. His life is ruined also.
Yeah.
Even if he was drunk, his life was ruined because he now killed somebody.
It's, you know, when I was 14, my best friend from my old neighborhood, Yolanda, and her father were both killed by a drunk driver. And that had such an effect on me that, like, for all throughout high school, when I finally got my license, like, my parents would get so upset with me if I would miss curfew. But then finally I was like, because I would show up with other people's cars. And I would drive, because if the kids were drinking, I'm like, you don't understand. Like, especially at that age, for that to happen at 14 years old, like, that always was on my mind. So I would always be like, if someone was drinking, I would just take their keys and drive. But also when people come to my home, I'm like, you need to Uber. If you're gonna be drinking, you need to Uber.
And that's a good rule. If you're having a house party and you want to hold this up, hold people accountable, either be like,
you will come with an Uber or we'll
you're
collect
not
your
coming.
keys or you're not coming.
And also, as a local news reporter, about to talk about a different reporter, I was doing that for years, and every Saturday that was the story that I did.
A drunk
Wrong
driver.
way driver on the highway, drunk driver. So
How many of you out there have also had an experience of losing or having somebody with a casualty of drunk driving? Let us know so we can get a temperature on that.
Welcome back to DBL. 2 TV reporters are going viral for very different reasons. So first, a reporter in New York was waiting to go live on the air when she was sexually and racially harassed by 2 men. Have a look.
Beautiful as hell.
Thank you.
But why you over here on camera though?
Watch Spectrum News. You can find out. Go find a TV and watch Spectrum News.
See, that's why I can't be left alone with a black woman or a mulatto chick, because I can't
All right.
stand these white
We are
girls.
done here. Have a great rest of your day.
You are sexy as sexy.
Oh my God.
That is so not rare. I want everyone to know that. The reporter, Brianna Hamblin, posted the video on Twitter, writing, quote, "Being hit on and harassed as a woman, especially as a woman reporter out in the field, happens so often you learn how to roll with it or ignore it. There are a lot of things wrong with this." For anyone who doesn't know, as a reporter or any woman, literally when you're walking across the street in a crosswalk as a pedestrian, I feel every eye on me. As a woman, no matter what I'm wearing, no matter what I'm doing, every eye is on me. And especially when I'm in a spotlight, so many eyes are on you and there's nothing you can say or couldn't say before. What do you guys think about that?
I think it does happen to, like, it happened
So
to me
many
in college when I was walking to class. But I think as a news reporter, even as a one-man band, which a lot of the people are that are working in New York that are not at like NBC or ABC or on one of the big stations, and she's with Spectrum, like sometimes they send you out there by yourself.
Yep.
And so I would be a one-man band, meaning I would set up the camera, turn around, and then somebody. So I'm worried about not only getting harassed, like being not stronger than the person harassing me, and like a slew of things. And so it's just interesting to watch this happen because, you know, you kind of play it off. And even Erica had this amazing interview with one reporter that I love in New York, and they were talking about how, well, there's another clip of how she was just like shooing somebody off behind her. People do disrespectful things to women that are reporting all the time on air.
And they don't care it's on camera.
Right, we kind of might like laugh it off or things might go viral, but this kind of thing is not funny, especially if she was alone. I'm not sure what her cameraman was doing. A lot of people in the comments were like, why didn't he say something? But like, that could have easily caused an altercation. So there are more than one man.
I have a
Escalate,
really
right?
great example of that because, I mean, I've done everything from bartend to in-arena hostessing at NBA arenas, being on the radio and having to do appearances that end at like midnight, 1 a.m. And finally, I was like, I have to have security. But when I went back to a basketball game, and I went with our co-host Al, and I had been in that arena for 5 years, so a lot of the season ticket holders and stuff knew me.
Yeah.
And this man, I'm not even kidding you, he came up to me, and then he patted my head, like the top of my head. He's like, "Oh, we missed you in the arena," and patted it. And Al, and this is where your mind goes, Al went to say something, and my whole thought was, there is going to be a physical altercation, and Al is going to get in trouble. That was my first thought.
All of this is going through your head at this moment.
And I had to turn to him and be like, it's okay, it's okay. And it wasn't okay.
Right.
And he wasn't, and like Al wasn't okay because he was very upset that this man would touch me at all.
Right.
But touch me in that way. And I had to like stand and just talk to Al and be like, it's okay, just let it go. Please just let it go. Because there are 17,000 people here, and the last thing we need is to have a black man going after this white man who is also a season ticket holder and means something in this community, and you're gonna get the brunt end of that.
But let's not forget the black woman in this who now has to play mediator. Not only are you the sexual
Tori,
object,
I'm opening up how this goes because that's very real.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't even defend yourself.
You can't do anything.
Or try to retaliate in some way because now everything is on you.
Wow. Coming up on DBL, gold medalist Amy Van Dyken. She's a good friend of the show. She takes us back to the Summer Games in the 90s.
Increases in COVID cases and hospitalizations has some health experts calling for the return of face masks. So will the CDC change its message on masks? Let's connect the dots. Back in May, vaccination rates were high and case counts were low. The Center for Disease Control declared it was safe for fully vaccinated people to toss their masks in most settings. We all know what happened next. Vaccine rates slowed down and the Delta variant hit hard. Health experts say the CDC decision was backed up by science, but unfortunately not human behavior. That led to unvaccinated and unmasked individuals fueling the spread of the contagious Delta variant. Now, White House Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci says fully vaccinated people might want to consider putting the mask back on. While the vaccines are effective, they don't offer 100% protection. Dr. Fauci says if the vaccinated want added protection, they can wear a mask indoors, especially in crowded places. Despite that new recommendation, experts say it's unlikely there will be a nationwide mask mandate because the pushback would be extreme. Instead, with 99.5% of all U.S. COVID deaths now being unvaccinated people, the focus will be on more people getting the shot.
Welcome back to DBL. The greatest swimmers in the world are making history in Tokyo right now, and it's given us all the feels. That's why we sat down with gold medalist Amy Van Dyken to reminisce about the Summer Games magic. That's today's Beyond the Medal. The year is 1996 when 23-year-old Amy Van Dyken launches herself into Summer Games history. She wins gold in 4 swimming events, becoming the first American woman to accomplish such a feat, and crowning her the most successful athlete at the Atlanta Games. 4 years later, Amy returns to the Games, where she wins 2 more gold medals. She is one of only a handful of athletes who can say, "All my medals are gold." Amy retires from swimming after her appearance in the Sydney Games. But in 2014, she makes headlines again after an ATV accident leaves her paralyzed from the waist down. Today, Amy's competitive spirit is stronger than ever, even defying doctors' expectations and walking again, proving a true champion never gives up.
A true American hero, Amy Van Dyken.
Yeah. Oh, Amy, we love you.
I love you. It is so good to see you guys. I wish I were there in person, but this is good enough for now.
Now, an athlete's mental strength is just as important as their physical strength. So let's talk about the mind games that athletes like to play. Because apparently, you were the queen of messing with competitors. What were some of the things that you used to do while swimming?
Oh, Sam. Well, it started in the ready room, and you know the ready room because you were a swimmer, right? So you're in there a half an hour before you have to start your, if you're like 30 seconds late, they call you DQ. So I would sit there and I would turn around to my competitors. And one time I went knee to knee. We were about that far away from each other. And I just sat there for a half an hour. I didn't know what to do, so I just stared at her.
All right, I got to ask about this. One of your mind games that I actually remember, it got a lot of backlash during the Sydney Games. You spat water in a competitor's lane and the world went crazy. So, Amy, why'd you do it?
Yep.
And were you like kind of surprised by the backlash?
Shocked at the backlash because I had been doing it in high school. And as a matter of fact, one of the people who made a big deal about it had done an interview with me 2 weeks prior while we were at the Olymp talking about the spitting. And then acted shocked when I did it. And how dare she do that? And I was like, wait, we just talked about that.
Interesting.
So I don't know, it bummed me out a little bit. And I think that's why I wanted to get into media. So, and you know, do a lot of swimming stuff because I don't want other swimmers to feel like I felt in that moment.
Amy, you still hold the record when it comes to gold medals at the Games. You are the only American female to win 4 gold medals in a single appearance at the Games. Do you believe anyone is going to break your record?
So yes, Jeff, I do. I think Katie Ledecky is going to break that record. We were talking about it this morning, and some of the people that I'm working with have a different opinion. Here's the thing. I've already bought the champagne. So the second that she does it here in the hotel room, I'm going to pop that bottle and celebrate. Because the thing is, I wanted to be there when she did it. Like, I wanted to give her a hug. Obvious reasons, I'm not in Tokyo and I can't give her a hug. So I'm just going to pop some champagne and have a glass.
Looking back on your gold medals, do you have a favorite of the 6?
Yes, I do. It was the 100 butterfly, because I was not the best 100 butterflyer in the country, let alone the world, but you just have to be the best in that moment.
In fact, you know, you've been such an inspiration on so many different levels, because in 2014, you had your ATV accident. And a couple years later, you came to our studio to tell us how your life changed after that. How did your champion mindset help you in your recovery, Amy?
Well, I believe that it helps immensely in physical therapy. When I was at Craig Hospital in Colorado, I would see a lot of people who were in pain and they felt they had to stop. Well, I knew what pain I could push through. And so I felt like I could push myself further. Also, being an Olympian, you know, you've got to overcome obstacles. It looks beautiful on TV, but the Olympics is not always the easiest swim meet to be at. You know, you're in a different country, there's different food, sleeping conditions, what have you. So I really think that it taught me resilience, how to plan ahead, and, you know, just how to sit there and, I guess, feel the feels, if you will, right? If you're having a bad day, like, cry it out and don't let it back in.
So to our DBL Nation, follow Amy on Instagram. I'm already a follower, and her post will make you laugh, cry, smile, you name it. She's going to come back and join us in the studio. Amy, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys so much. I love you. Be well.
Love you.
Bye, love.
We'll be right back.
Last April, 3 videos of UFOs were released by the Navy. Then the Office of the Director of National Intelligence weighed in with an assessment of what happened, prompting tweets like this one with almost 3,000 likes claiming the federal government said aliens could be an explanation. So let's verify. Did the U.S. government say the videos show alien aircraft? Our sources are the DNI and an astronomer at the SETI Institute. The report was just 9 pages and didn't even use the term UFO, instead saying there were 144 reports of unidentified aerial phenomena over a 17-year period. A task force determined one instance was a large deflating balloon, but it couldn't explain the other 143.
Although Seth Shostak thinks it might be because of concerns a little closer than Mars.
I think that a much more plausible explanation for the reticence to describe anything in detail is simply because, look, this is the military, the U.S. Navy in this case, and they don't want to reveal too much about the workings of their cameras on board these F-18 Hornets.
Another word missing from the report was alien or extraterrestrial. Shostak thinks it's unlikely these videos really show anything from a galaxy far, far away, and he's part of a team hoping to one day find another intelligent species.
If you're talking about intelligent aliens, the kind that always show up on, Star Trek or wherever else, that you have to look at other solar systems and, around other stars.
So we can verify it's false that the government said the video shows alien aircraft, but they didn't deny it either. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis. Want something verified? Email us or send us a text. For more Verify stories and to sign up for our newsletter, go to verifythis.com.
Welcome back to DBL. This weekend, our DBL panel got the chance to celebrate the soon-to-be new addition to our DBL family. It was Lindsay's baby shower. There we are.
Who got the walk-in? That's pretty good video.
And our very own Erica Cobb, who is the hostess with the mostest, trust us, held one fabulous party. We decorated some onesies. There's Colin. You see him in the center there. We ate incredible food.
For real.
By Chef Cool Dre. He was unbelievable.
Yes.
We opened adorable gifts. The food really was the
We had mocktails.
We had
so everybody knows I
mocktails.
wasn't cheers and some champagne.
That's right. There
I don't
you
want to
go.
hear it later on Instagram.
Ronald Sells of Red Films captured it all, but most importantly, we celebrated Lindsay, Colin, and their baby girl. It was so much fun. Your mom even made it.
My mom came.
Susan!
My mom finally got to meet Bert. I just want to thank you guys. It's been a real, everybody's like, you're surrounded by so much love, and I really am. So I love you guys.
We love you
Thank you
too.
so much. I had a great time.
We'll be here tomorrow. DBL's new every day. Bye, guys.